Let me ask you something. When was the last time you bought something not because you needed it, but because you wanted other people to know you could afford it? Maybe it was those AirPods Max when the regular AirPods worked just fine. Maybe it was ordering the expensive cocktail at dinner when you would have been perfectly happy with a beer. Or maybe, and this is the one that really gets me, maybe it was upgrading your iPhone when your current one worked perfectly fine, but you just couldn't stand being the only person in your friend group with the older model. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You just paid a tax, not to the government, to your own insecurity. My name is Ansh, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart people make dumb financial decisions. And if you're someone who makes decent money but somehow still feels broke at the end of the month, or you keep telling yourself you'll start saving next month but that month never actually comes, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up because we're about to talk about the single most expensive psychological trap that's keeping you poor, and it's not what you think. So here's the thing. We live in the most prosperous time in human history. The average person today has access to technology, food, and entertainment that literal kings couldn't have imagined 200 years ago. And yet, a recent study from the American Psychological Association found that 72% of Americans report feeling stressed about money. 72%. We're richer than ever and more financially anxious than ever. How does that make any sense? The answer is something economists call status signaling. And understanding this concept might be the difference between retiring comfortably and working until you're 75. Now look, I know what you're thinking. Ansh, I don't care about status. I'm not some shallow person trying to impress everyone. And I believe you, I really do. But here's what most people don't realize. Status signaling isn't about being shallow or materialistic. It's hardwired into your brain. It's evolutionary psychology, and it's costing you somewhere between 20 and 40% of your income without you even noticing. Let me explain. Thousands of years ago, when we were living in small tribes, your status in the group literally determined whether you survived or died. Higher status meant better access to food, better protection, better mates. Your brain evolved to obsessively track where you stood in the social hierarchy because it was a survival mechanism. Fast forward to today, you're not worried about being eaten by a tiger, you're not competing for scarce resources, but your brain hasn't gotten the memo. It's still running the same software it was running 10,000 years ago. So what does it do? It looks around at your peer group and tries to figure out where you rank. And here's where it gets interesting. In the modern world, we can't easily see who has the most resources. We can't see your bank account. We can't see your investment portfolio. So instead, your brain uses visible markers: cars, clothes, phones, watches, vacations that get posted on Instagram. These become the scoreboard. And this is the trap, because the game is rigged from the start. Let me give you a concrete example. Let's say you make $70,000 a year. Not bad, you're doing okay. But here's the problem. You're not comparing yourself to someone making $30,000. You're not even comparing yourself to the global average. You're comparing yourself to your coworker who just bought a new BMW, to your college friend who's posting pictures from Bali, to the influencer you follow who's wearing a $1,000 outfit. Your reference point isn't reality. It's an Instagram feed curated to make you feel inadequate. And the math on this is brutal. Let's run the numbers. Say you spend an extra $300 a month on status signaling. That's not crazy, right? That's one nice dinner out instead of cooking. That's upgrading your car payment by $150. That's buying the name brand instead of the generic version at the grocery store. Just $300 a month in choices that are designed to signal status rather than provide actual value. Over the course of a year, that's $3,600. Okay, that stings a little, but it's not devastating, right? But now here's where the psychology gets really dark. That $3,600, if you had invested it instead in a basic index fund averaging 7% returns, which is conservative, would be worth about $33,000 after 20 years. After 40 years, it would be worth over $215,000. You just paid $215,000 for what? For the temporary feeling of looking successful to people who probably weren't even paying attention in the first place. Now you might be thinking, okay, Ansh, but I need to look professional. I need a nice car to be taken seriously. I need the right clothes for my job. And look, I'm not saying you should show up and work in a potato sack, but there's a massive difference between being presentable and playing the status game. The research on this is pretty clear. A study from the Journal of Consumer Research found that people consistently overestimate how much others notice and care about their possessions by a factor of about 3 to 5 times. Think about that. You think people are paying 5 times more attention to your stuff than they actually are. You're spending real money to impress imaginary audiences. Here's what most people don't realize about wealth. Actual wealthy people, the ones who have real financial security, they don't play the status signaling game. They opt out entirely. There's this incredible book called The Millionaire Next Door, where researchers studied actual millionaires in America, not celebrities, just regular people who built wealth. And you know what they found? The average millionaire drives a 4-year-old car. They live in a middle-class neighborhood. They don't wear Gucci. They wear normal clothes from normal stores. Why? Because they understand something fundamental. Every dollar you spend signaling status is a dollar that can't compound, and compounding is the only free lunch in finance. But here's the really insidious part. The people who are the loudest about their success, they're usually the ones drowning in debt. A study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that zip codes with higher visible consumption, like luxury cars and designer clothes, actually had lower savings rates and higher debt-to-income ratios. The correlation was shocking. The more people spent on looking rich, the actually poorer they were in reality. It's what I call the Instagram paradox. The better someone's life looks online, the worse their balance sheet probably looks in reality. So what do you actually do about this? How do you opt out of a game that your brain is evolutionarily designed to play? First, you have to change your reference point. Stop comparing yourself to people who are spending money they don't have to impress people they don't like. Instead, compare yourself to your own financial goals. Am I closer to financial independence than I was last year? Am I building wealth, or am I building the appearance of wealth? That's the only comparison that matters. Second, you need to create what I call invisible wins. These are financial achievements that nobody sees, but that completely change your life. Maxing out your Roth IRA? Invisible win. Paying off your credit cards? Invisible win. Building a 6-month emergency fund? Invisible win. Nobody's going to congratulate you. Nobody's going to like your post about it. But in 10 years, 20 years, you're going to have something that actually matters: freedom. And here's the mindset shift that changed everything for me. Start viewing every purchase through the lens of opportunity cost. That $6 coffee isn't just $6, it's the $40 that $6 could become in 20 years if you invested it instead. That's not about being cheap, that's about being intentional. Sometimes the coffee is worth it. Sometimes the experience, the convenience, the joy you get from it is absolutely worth $40 of future value. But sometimes it's not. And you can't make that decision if you're not thinking about it in the first place. Here's the thing about status signaling. It's a game with no finish line. There will always be someone with a nicer car. There will always be someone with a bigger house. There will always be someone wearing something more expensive. You can play that game your entire life and never win. Or you can choose to play a different game entirely. A game where the goal isn't to look rich, but to actually be free. And freedom is invisible. It doesn't photograph well. You can't post it on Instagram. It's boring. It's a spreadsheet that says you have enough money invested that you could walk away from a job you hate. It's waking up without an alarm because you don't have debt payments forcing you to work. It's saying no to things you don't want to do because you've built a life that doesn't require you to pretend. That's the game worth playing. And the beautiful irony, the people who win that game, who build real wealth and real freedom, they're usually the ones you never suspect. They're driving the Honda. They're wearing the normal watch. They're completely unremarkable from the outside. And on the inside, they're winning in ways that the status signalers can't even comprehend. So the next time you're about to buy something, ask yourself, am I buying this because I want it or because I want people to think I can afford it? That one question might save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. If this video made you rethink even one purchase, do me a favor and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more videos about the psychology of money and how to actually build wealth instead of just looking wealthy, subscribe because we're just getting started. My name is Ansh. Stop buying stuff to impress people who don't care, and I'll see you in the next one.